March 18th, Mike Tyson raised the Ruddock. Raised the Ruddock dies. If he doesn't die, it doesn't count. If he's not dead, it doesn't count.
How you doing, everyone? My name is Ryan and this is Ade, and welcome back to another edition of Boxtalk. Right now, it's time for the post-fight review of Jermain Taylor versus Sam Soliman for the IBF title. Quick shout out to Chris Ivan, who was on Twitter with us today asking about this fight and what's going on. We try to break it down for you right now. Ade,
Ryan,
from the start.
you know, this is a strange. Honestly, the build up. First of all, him getting the fight was strange. Sam Soliman beating Felix Stern was strange. You know, every division has a belt that you can win, and what I mean by that is, like, look, the Klitschko's have had that dominance. And as soon as Vitali relinquished the belt, a lot of people want to go out Bermane Stiverne because it's the belt they can get. Kell Brook very similarly in 147. There's always a belt in every division where someone can get that belt. It's a winnable fight. So when we even done the pre-fight for this, we done like a little short video. We kind of both said, look, Jermain Taylor's got a chance. Sam Soliman isn't the most powerful fighter. No one knew he had an injury a couple of weeks before the fight. Very similar to the Sergio Martinez thing. Look, I don't want to take credit away from Jermain Taylor. He's a world champion again, and look, you know, he's a deserved world champion. He won the fight. But there's a big but on this fight. Sam Soliman, after 6.5 rounds, had no legs. A boxer like him, you know, when we talk about, that's why I said it's similar to Martinez. When we talk about a boxer that relies on so much movement, I don't think there's a boxer in the world that moves like Sam Soliman. Give him no legs, game's over. It's impossible.
Here's the thing about this fight, what I thought was really interesting, going into the fight, was that I predicted that Sam Soliman would get a stop with Jermain Taylor because Jermain Taylor fades. Jermain Taylor done well. He looked in very good shape. He didn't really fade at the end. He got a little bit tired, he didn't really fade at the end. But what was shocked to me is that I watched the fight, and after round 6, I had Soliman up 4 rounds to 2. I didn't have Jermain Taylor actually in the fight. The fight only got competitive with Jermain Taylor after the injury. Even in the 11th round, when Soliman was winning the fight in the 11th round. He was winning the round until he got dropped in the last 30 seconds, I think.
It wasn't even a real drop, is it?
He fell over. He fell over because he got capped. So I'm thinking, well, if you look at it like that, Soliman won the first 4 first 6 rounds, won the 11th round, without the knockdowns, he was winning the fight. He was winning the fight comfortably. And I thought it was also quite shocking as well is that Jermain Taylor had a one-leg fighter in there and he couldn't finish him off. He had round 7, he had round 8, he had round 9, round 10, round 11, round 12, and he couldn't finish him off. If there was any other top round middleweight, puncher or not, if you got a one-leg fighter, you take them out.
I mean, you're not just talking a one-leg fighter, you know, that doesn't rely on his movement. A lot of fighters out there, especially top fighters nowadays, rely on a lot of the foot movement. Sorry, not the foot movement, the hand movement and the head movement. Sam Soliman literally requires none of that. It literally, he's all about legs. And for someone to say, okay, we're going to remove one of your legs, to me, that's a disabled fighter in there, in a sense. That's a fighter with a disability. You've got to take him out. And I'm surprised Jermain Taylor. You're not scared me for Jermain Taylor. I was watching a fight and I couldn't help thinking, if he gets caught, he's gone. If he gets caught, he's gone. I was frightened for him.
I watched it on BT Sports and they cut it right when Jermain Taylor got knocked down in the 11th round. And they didn't show if it was a knockdown or if it was a slip. But I thought he looked like he went down.
He looked
like he went down. But by the time they came out from the break, the round was already started, so we didn't get to see the replay of it. But Jermain Taylor looked one-dimensional to me. To me, what I saw Jermain Taylor do through the whole fight was throw his jab and throw the jab right hand, double jab right hand, double jab right hand, jab right hand. That's all he really threw. And that was all he was working on. Even the knockdowns, you got a one-legged fight and you knocked Soliman down. Soliman was not hurt once. Even the knockdowns, Soliman only went down because the leg was buckling underneath him. Jermain Taylor is a world champion. Yes, he has a belt, but I didn't see anything in Jermain Taylor that told me he was really a world-class fighter. Because like I said, take out the knockdowns, Soliman was winning the fight.
Yeah, this could be literally, this could be a belt for an IBO, WBU, WBF. It almost carries no weight for me as a world champion. Jermain Taylor will go home and he'll say he's a world champion, but deep down, if I'm a boxer in the way I'm looking at, if I'm Jermain Taylor and I watch that fight over again, I'll look at that fight and think, I didn't really win it the way I wanted to win it. And I don't think, minus the injuries, he wasn't going to win it the way he was going to win it.
I think for Jermain Taylor, he gets, his heartwarming for me, if I was Jermain Taylor, is the redemption. I.e.,
I didn't get knocked out.
I didn't get knocked out. I was retired for a long time. I weren't a top contender. First time I made middleweight in bloody 7-8 years.
Which is a problem.
I'm trying to say. I regained the title, 9 years, 8 years after beating
2006, I think, isn't it? 2005, 2006.
For him, he's got a redemption story. Like for a personal achievement in a person, I'm very happy for him. I give him a round of applause. For actual boxing performance, I didn't rate it one bit.
One thing Christoph Ivan said, and I think a lot of people echoed it on Twitter, the fear factor now for Jermain Taylor is that he doesn't fight a guy without a punch. Sam Soliman doesn't have a punch. He'll work you out for 12 rounds, i.e. Daniel Gill. He's got that kind of work rate. He's now going to fight a guy next that has a punch. To be fair, Hassan and Dan doesn't have a punch. We saw what done with Curtis Stevens. Look, IBF title seems to be the hot potato at the moment. I don't think anyone's going to hold it for an... Hassan and Dan beats Jermain Taylor pretty convincingly for me. And that's the problem. But will it be in Dan? I think they're going to do a voluntary. And I think the voluntary is going to be either Daniel Jacobs or Peter Quillen.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
No, even Peter Quillen, and that's your favourite middleweight right now.
I hate him.
Yeah. Peter Quillen will do a dirty job on Jermain Taylor right now. The thing about Jermain Taylor is that... Okay, that's it. If you look at any of the top 10 contenders against Soliman, if they had him hurt that way, they would have ended the fight. Jermain Taylor didn't show no versatility in there. I didn't see no body work. Yeah, I didn't see nothing more in terms of combinations. On the inside, when Soliman was holding him, Soliman was the guy holding, but while he was holding, he was still getting enough shots on the inside, uppercut, short hooks. Jermain Taylor had none of that. There was no inside game from Jermain Taylor. He was doing what he knew best. Yeah. Keep a little range, stay a little safe, and pop the longest punches you can, which is the jab and the right hand. Sometimes he curled it over into a little bit of a hook, but he fought a one-dimensional, single-pace fight. He done nothing in there that tells me that's a versatile fighter.
The problem for boxing, and it's boxing as a whole at the moment, a lot of people have kind of said world titles mean nothing as soon as Peter Quillen threw his belt away. And for the IBF, it almost makes it seem like this. Look, Jermain Taylor is not 5% of the Jermain Taylor that fought Bernard Hopkins. Yeah. But yet this is Jermain Taylor now that is a world champion.
Where was the explosiveness and the drive, the desire? I'm trying to say what he had in his prime. And this is why I'm scared for Jermain Taylor. Whereas, like I said, we'll never want to be hurt or injured in any sort of way, but I fear for watching these fights because, like I said, as a world-class fighter, or to fight world-class fighters, he did not defend himself or fought like a world-class fighter.
I've been watching boxing now for the better part of 20 years plus. I have no fight I've ever seen in my life that I'm fearful for getting hit. Yeah. I mean, we're talking, everyone laughs about Amir Khan getting hit, he's no chin. I don't have fear for him though. I have fear for him that he might get knocked down. I have genuine fear for Jermain Taylor. There's something about him where I feel like if he gets hit by someone clean, he's not only going to get knocked down, we could have problems here. And I feel like this Al Heyman thing, and it's going to be an Al Heyman fighter next he's fighting, it's going to be a Daniel Jacobs, it's going to be a Peter Quillen, and I thought it's dangerous for him. Peter Quillen isn't really known as a puncher, that's the only good thing about it necessarily, but I don't think it takes a puncher to cause Jermain Taylor problems. And that's the thing. It's good, look, he won a world title, take that, but he's gonna have a big money fight next, and that's scary.
That's it. For me, Jermain Taylor always had stamina issues from back in the day. Jermain Taylor did have stamina issues in this fight because Soliman could not fight for 6 rounds of the 12 rounds. If that fight was a full-paced 12-round fight, there was no way in hell he was going to win that fight. And I'm not saying he would. I won't say he would have got stopped. I thought he would have got stopped because of the way his stamina phase. But he just did not look like a substantial fighter, and that's all. That's what my biggest concern is.
Very quickly, are we being too harsh on him? We weren't as harsh as Miguel when Miguel fought Martinez, and Martinez's legs were gone. Are we being too harsh? Ain't there a lot of similarities between the Miguel Cotto performance and this performance?
Similar but different in the terms where Sergio Martinez came in and fought a Hall of Fame fighter, 2 Hall of Fame fighters, 2 top fighters, and Sergio came through camp reportedly okay. So it was different. We saw Sergio deteriorate through the fight, and he fought on through hard. The difference with this fight, the difference with that fight is that no one was substantially hurt beforehand. Jermain Taylor has previous neurological issues, has not been a top fighter or for a top 10 ranked fighter or for any ranked fighter in God knows what, 4 years, 5 years. There's too much issues for me to list of why Jermain Taylor should not be fighting or should not be fighting these type of guys. Like, no disrespect to Sam Soliman, he was a champion, but I'd say he was the weakest in the division. Sam Soliman would have easily won the fight without the injury, so that tells me Jermain Taylor is still not what he thinks he is.
Have we not been cheated a bit here? And we're going to end this quick. We don't want this video to go so long. Have we not been cheated? Sam Soliman, and as respectful as he is with the way he kind of lost the fight, and he was very respectful, didn't blame it on the injury. Great. He tweeted about that as well. But he's openly come out and said, I was injured a couple of weeks before the fight. Yeah. I mean, he knew, if he was injured, he knew it was a knee injury. Have we not been cheated? He probably knew he couldn't go the full 12 rounds here.
I will say...
Do we feel they've not been cheated?
I will say no. And the reason I'll say no because Teddy Alex said in the broadcast, Sam Soliman came over there with no manager, no promotion. He just came over there by himself with him in his bag. Yeah, he did. His team flew in a couple of days later. Yeah. His corner team, and he fought. That's a fighter.
But was it even a payday for him? I mean, like, watching the fight, it didn't look like more than 2,000-3,000 there. Kind of empty.
Yeah, it did look kind of empty, but you know, this is boxing. Jermain Taylor is not a draw what he was before. He's not a marking image as he was before. Sam Soliman is known to boxing fans, but Sam Soliman is 40, fights in America and abroad a lot of time. He's not a household name. So for two boxers of that level in terms of popularity, it was a good event. It was marquee TV. It was an ESPN coming back into boxing again on a show. It was good. ESPN normally go to the lower fights to have a world title fight. The last thing they done was, I think, was a Klitschko one.
Yeah. So
yeah, it's good.
Is that it for Sam Soliman?
I say yes. I think Sam Soliman is a good guy. He's got a good heart. He's done everything he can within the sport. He's finally became a world champion after years and years and years on the grind, having some bad decisions as well, and fighting some good guys. Maybe everyone forgets when he fought Winky Wright maybe 10 plus years ago. Now, I mean, he's a very good fighter, but unfortunately, I think at 40, his time has come.
Hassan N'Dam is mandatory now for that fight. Does Hassan N'Dam even get to face Jermain Taylor, or does Jermain Taylor lose? Because he's probably going to have a voluntary next. Does he lose the voluntary? Will Jermain Taylor fight Hassan N'Dam?
If Jermain Taylor fights anyone ranked top 10, I think Jermain Taylor will lose. N'Dam, again, like I said, it's desire and it's aggression, it's skills. You just said you're going to put 2 gloves on and go into the ring and fight, doesn't mean you can fight.
Yeah. Alright, there you go, guys. Look, that's it. Jermain Taylor is another middleweight world champion. It's strange, even saying those words champion and Jermain Taylor in the same sentence. But, I mean, look, he's won a world title, but has he really? I mean, look, he's IBF champion. Is he really? Yes, he's going to go home with the belt, but deep down inside of him, I mean, look, if Sam Soliman had his legs beneath him, he wins that fight, and he probably wins it comfortably. Where does Jermain Taylor go? Where does Sam Soliman go? Leave your comments below. Email us at
boxtalk@hotmail.co.uk, and don't get to us on Twitter at boxtalkuk.
Don't forget to subscribe as well, guys. Thanks for watching us. Check out ringnews24.com. Thanks a lot for Christoph Ivan. We probably wouldn't have done this video without you. Cheers. Thanks for watching this edition of